Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brad, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about why I have such success with my predictions of things and how you can become a successful predictor of events, investments, businesses, so on and so forth. So the truth of the matter is that trends and predictions are not hard to make, they're not hard to spot, yet so few people are actually able to not only predict, but put their money where their mouth is and either invest and get behind a prediction or create a business around a prediction and test that hypothesis. And the reason for that ultimately comes down to belief in one's own judgment. And this is something that I could talk about for a very long time, and I do. The mainstream society and the mainstream culture discourages the individual to have a idea and follow through on that idea. They want to tell you that the system is right, the school system is right, the news is right, you shouldn't question it. If you question it, you're a conspiracy theorist or you're a kook. Well, the truth is that we're in the middle of the biggest toppling of big bodies of power and rising of power of the individual. That's really what it is the individual is now given more power and more credibility than ever before, and the mainstream, they are the ones who are having their credibilities ruined, mostly by themselves, by the way, and the individual is being given more credibility. Why? Because people would rather listen to me or Gary Vaynerchuk or Grant Cardone or Alex Jones, any of these guys, as opposed to listening to, I personally like Tucker Carlson, but a guy like Tucker or any of the CNN fake news. People just do not trust Fox, CNN, ABC, NBC. They just don't, because they've been proven to be liars. And while we're on that, the school system have been proven to be massive liars. They promised you that a ton of college debt in a college degree was going to reward you with a great, six-figure paying job in lesbian dance theory, or anthropology was somehow going to grant you some some huge 6-7 figure paycheck at the end of your prison sentence. College career. I don't like college. I don't like school. I think that the majority of topics in school are completely useless. The people that teach them are largely useless. That's why they're in academia and not in the real world. In my time in public school, there were maybe 3, 4, or 5 teachers that really encouraged me and motivated me and inspired me, and I felt were actually people that I wanted to learn from rather than people that were just installed in a position of power and I had to listen to them. And not coincidentally, most of those guys, 2 or 3 of them were conservative males, and I'll name them right now, guys who made an impact in my life. This guy who's my math teacher in high school, Dan Kiernan, Weston High School, was a great guy. He didn't really mentor me too much and didn't have too much of an impact, but he did. Bill Mader also didn't mentor me too much, but the number one guy would be Tom Grace, who taught me in 8th grade. I'll never forget, he said, you guys are going to forget about me, and I truly did not, man. If you, by whatever chance, watch this video, you made a real impact in me, and you were one of the few people that told me that I could do it and that I was, you told me I was a genius when everybody else told me I was stupid and I would never make it at all. And I appreciate that, man, and don't think that goes unnoticed. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. The rest of the people in my schooling career taught me that I wasn't supposed to take risks. My thoughts were stupid and dramatic and intense, and they had no place, and they're wrong, because that's forms the foundation of belief. Understanding your own voice and your own insights are valid, that your own experience of life is valid, and then going out and testing that in the free market and seeing if you can really hang, and that's the difference between me and a lot of other people on Facebook and a lot of people on, who are supposedly like business coaches or whatever. They don't really go out into the free market and test these things. I actually am, actively testing these hypotheses and this cultural, my thinking on culture in the real world and in business, and it's tested every day. And I've made some good predictions. For instance, cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is inevitably going to take over the fiat currency system. There's going to have to be huge reformation because cryptocurrency has a better proof of work and a better use case than fiat currency. I can speak for the United States dollar. Anytime that we need more money, we essentially just print more money in the Federal Reserve. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on this, but I can tell you that in cryptocurrency, when you want more money, when you want Bitcoin, it costs thousands of dollars to make a Bitcoin at this stage, and that changes every day, by the way. It gets more expensive every day. So I'll date this, and I'll tell you it's December 10th or 11th today, something like that. It costs a couple $1,000s to mine a Bitcoin in computing power and electricity and programs that you purchase, so on and so forth. So there is real proof of work. Ethereum is essentially a virtual machine. You can actually build programs and applications based on the mining or construction of an Ethereum coin. You can't say the same for a dollar, a nickel, or a penny, or a quarter. They're just metal and paper. So not to mention the mass adoption that is happening now and that will happen in the future. My bet is that cryptocurrency is going to be overtaking the traditional fiat currency system sooner rather than later. Maybe in a couple years, it may be in less time. We've recently seen that exponential growth in cryptocurrency that has been nothing short of fucking amazing. It hit $20,000 per Bitcoin about 2 to 3 days ago. Anyway, so how is it that people made money? Some people bought cryptocurrency early. Some people said, hey, you know what? Fuck you guys. I believe in this. And they bought, 1,000 Bitcoin, 10,000 Bitcoin when it was $1. And they were like, fuck you guys. And they held it because they had belief in it. Some people believed in Trump. And they said, I believe in this guy. I like this guy. He speaks the truth when everybody else is too afraid to speak common sense English in fear of being vilified by the masses for having a non-politically correct belief. Well, he wound up winning, and Bitcoin is growing, and the same thing is true with your business. If you believe in your innovation and your first of all, you have to believe in yourself because, a business is only as good as the CEO and the people behind the business. You can have the best idea in the world, but if you lack execution, integrity, honor, morality, your business will fail. And we've seen that when businesses change hands. There have been excellent businesses that have changed hands, changed owners, and the new owners completely destroyed the business. It's very similar in the same way that people think that just because they launch an ICO or they launch a business that incorporates the blockchain technology into it, that the business is automatically going to succeed. Nothing could be further from the truth. So with that said, I'm going to go and buy some shit for my camera and play a little bit of guitar at Sam Ash. And I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening and then get back to work in a couple hours. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoy this new format, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.